Hello again everyone. So I'm going to do another paint-along video, hard on the heels of the one I did yesterday. It kind of demonstrates really one or several of the problems I have with YouTube that I was talking about yesterday on my paint-along on May the 4th. Later on, excuse me, later on today. Oh yeah, by the way, you're looking at, there's even less to see out of my window today than there was yesterday because the weather has changed noticeably and it's very grey, dismal. You can't see very far into the distance, so I just pointed the camera at part of my apple tree in my own garden, which is just coming into blossom. So that's about the best thing I can show you today, I'm afraid. Yeah, so later on today I was going to put up a video just showing off some figures I've just completed. The varnish on them's just drying at the moment, so it should be possible to handle them this afternoon, and so I've been planning that for a while, but in the meantime there was a kind of slightly strange reaction from one individual to the painted-on video I put up yesterday, and I wanted to kind of address that. But as I say, one of the problems I have with YouTube in general, and it's one of the reasons why I don't belong to Facebook any longer. It's nothing to do with, you know, the rancour or the arguments that that can occur on it. It's to do with the way really that your platform kind of gets organised for you. And in the case of YouTube, it's your latest video that is always kind of promoted and pushed by the platform, and that's done, you know, as I was saying yesterday, very much for commercial reasons. That it's your freshest and most recent video that is going to attract advertising revenue, so that is why YouTube push it. So if I were to put this up, I kind of I'm not really that bothered whether people see this video or not, or in this case of this one, listen to it, so there's not much to see. But you know, I am more kind of concerned that people notice the video I'm planning to put up this afternoon. If I put this one up afterwards, you know, YouTube is going to kind of ignore the video on my figures and concentrate on this. It hasn't got any kind of critical ability. You know, the algorithms don't have the ability to judge the content and prioritise ones, you know, that you think are more important. And this is the lesser of the importance of the two videos I'm planning to put up today. So I'm obliged to put it up first. That's the sort of general problem with YouTube. You can get around it to an extent by creating playlists so that you know, people coming across your channel can concentrate on, you know, the videos, topics that they're most interested in. That's especially important with a channel like mine, which covers quite a wide variety of topics. You know, so I have created playlists, but even then, it's not easy to look at people's playlists on YouTube. I don't quite understand why YouTube don't make it more easier to kind of navigate people's channels. It's constantly concentrating on that froth at the top of the bubbling pot that I was on about yesterday, and you often don't see the soup that is possibly cooking underneath. You don't get an overall perspective of the channel. It's the sort of last thing on that's given the greatest attention. But anyway, so it's that kind of organising problem that I have with YouTube, and exactly the same with Facebook, which is why I don't. It's one of the reasons why I don't belong to Facebook any longer. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, as I was saying, someone had a very odd sort of reaction to the video I put up yesterday. And they took exception to what I was saying, but took it very, very personally. They said that I was criticising their own channel, where in fact I was only sort of vaguely aware that they even had a channel. I've seen their name occasionally on comments on my channel in the past when I used to allow comments, and on other wargaming related channels occasionally seen them comment. And I've just looked at their channel, and I have watched one of their videos in the past. I recognise one that I watched, but frankly it's not the kind of channel I'm interested in. In fact, it's precisely the kind of channel that I was, moaning about yesterday. But I wasn't specifically moaning about this guy's channel, but he assumed I was. When I spoke about how I find the kind of rubbish musical intros that a lot of channels have, I described them as garbage, and that's my opinion. I do find them garbage, but he thought I was actually describing his musical introduction as garbage, and it's weird for two reasons. One is that I just looked at his channel, and he doesn't seem to have a musical introduction on a lot of his videos. And the one, it's precisely the thing I was complaining about. The ones that he does, often his videos are only about 3 or 4 minutes long. I have a 30-second musical intro to a video of that brevity. It just seems to me to be ridiculous. So, I didn't single him out for criticism. It's just a criticism that I have of YouTube, and it's odd that. Well, it's not odd. It proves my point in a way that he immediately identified his own channel as being the subject of my criticism. So it proves my point that that kind of channel, that kind of approach to promoting your channel is too common, and it's spoiling my own personal enjoyment of YouTube. But I'm not saying YouTube should be as I want it to be. I'm just saying personally I don't get as much out of YouTube as I used to, because so many channels are going down that route. They're all copying one another in their techniques to bolster their subscription levels, and it's fine. I'm happy for them to get on with that, but I'm just not going to participate in it myself. So just ignore me and I'll ignore you is basically the simplest solution. But anyway, that was the other thing. As I say, I haven't allowed comments on my channel in a long time, and this guy actually, he was so incentivized to comment, to kind of react to my reacting the way he did, that he went back through my archive of videos, and it's been years now. He went back and found a video that I hadn't disabled comments on, commented on that. So within about 5 minutes of noticing it, I had disabled the comments on that video, and 10 minutes later he'd found another video, to kind of just reiterate his comment. So it's almost like kind of I don't know, sort of psychopathic kind of reaction. Can't understand it at all. But maybe he'll calm down and just ignore me or not. But the point he was trying to make was, and he completely misunderstood what I was trying to say, and I think I did make my point fairly lucidly, so I couldn't have made myself any clearer in why I dislike some aspects of YouTube and so on. But he was saying that my channel is larger than his, he's trying hard to increase his subscription rates, and he wanted me to check in 12 months' time his subscription levels, to see that how many subscribers he'd put on. And I think he was trying to say that he would have surpassed my subscription levels in a year's time. I just don't care less. I mean, that was my whole point, that people are trying too hard to put their subscription levels up, add to their subscribers, and they're not sort of concentrating on putting out videos that are worth watching. They're just simply trying to inflate their number of subscribers, the subscription levels, and it's making YouTube a kind of a more kind of noisy, clamorous place where everybody's doing the same thing, and the videos aren't worth watching. I would never really be, it's exactly the kind of channel that I can see, the popularity of it with a lot of people, and it's not the kind of channel that I personally want to watch. I'm not telling people not to watch it. I'm just saying I'm not part of the crowd. I don't follow, follow sort of trends and fashions, and so it's not my cup of tea. And if that's the way YouTube's going, then I'm not going to watch as much YouTube as I used to, and I regret the passing of a lot of those channels that I did used to enjoy, and would encourage people who still put out videos intermittently, to do more. But don't don't go crazy over trying to get your subscription levels up. And I'm not entirely sure, whether this guy. This is another thing I don't understand about YouTube. It's well, there are lots of things I don't understand YouTube, but this one in particular is, is he a subscriber of my channel? Sometimes you can tell because when they make a comment on your channel, there's a little red icon beside their name, and you immediately know that they're a subscriber. There wasn't in his case, but it's not always the case that happens, because there is some facility on YouTube to not make public your subscriptions. Why? I haven't got a clue why they do that. Why should people be worried about announcing to other people what channels they subscribe to? I mean, surely if you're interested in promoting your own channel, you would want people to know the type of channels that you watch yourself. So I've never quite understood that. But anyway, maybe he was once a subscriber to my channel and he took exception to what I said yesterday and unsubscribed before he started commenting. I don't know. But this is another way that people artificially inflate their subscription levels. They subscribe to a channel and then anticipate that the person that they have just, the channel owner of the channel that they've just subscribed to will reciprocate and subscribe to their own channel. And I have been guilty of doing that in the past and always regretted it. And it's a big mistake to do that, sort of sub for sub policy, because eventually you'll get this sort of collapse of interest in your channel. It's one of the reasons why you see channels that have 3 or 4, well, even in my case 2,500 subscribers, but it's only exceptional videos that will get more than about 500 views. The majority of the time you're lucky if you get 100. So what has happened to all those other subscribers? It's probably this kind of policy that people seem to, it's practice rather than policy that people follow, of subscribing almost indiscriminately to channels in order to garner reciprocal subscriptions in return. And the other weird thing about it is, if you do try and analyse, the statistics, and I never bother because they're almost meaningless. But I have heard people remark on their own channels in the past that when they do go to the analytics, the majority of views that they get are from non-subscribers. Even if they have a large number of subscribers. So the whole thing is completely cockeyed, and it's really all down to advertising revenue, monetization, completely distorting what people do because they're encouraged to watch you know, certain things just because they're going to get a lot of views. So the whole thing kind of snowballs. So YouTube is not, it's not a sensible place. People behave irrationally, like this guy. But you can't get any, you can't make sense of, you know, the statistics on your own channel. You know, it's off, well, it's kind of off the subject in a way. As far as I can see, he hasn't disliked the video yesterday, but you do always wonder why people like or dislike. You know, it's easier to kind of emotionally to kind of think that you understand why people like your video, because if you put any effort, you're not going to put up something that you dislike yourself. So if you do make an effort to make a video, you know, it's kind of gratifying that people like your videos. So you tend to kind of understand, as it were, why people like your videos. It's harder to understand why they dislike your videos, but if you try and rationalise why they dislike your videos, you never can. If you take the example of something like you put some figures up, I mean, this is something that happened to me recently. I put up a video of some figures, and I made comments on the figures, and I said that I wasn't, you know, very keen on the range. I didn't like the figures particularly, and that got, I think it got one dislike. But why did that dislike happen? It might be that the person agreed with me and didn't like the figures. So he wasn't disliking my video, he was disliking the video, disliking the figures like I was. Or maybe he disliked the fact that I disliked them. Maybe he thought, he or she, maybe they thought that I shouldn't be expressing an opinion on the quality of, you know, a range of figures. You know, maybe there was something else. Maybe, you know, maybe, I mean, this is another thing that I very, very rarely dislike videos, but I can remember disliking one some time ago now, because for the length of video, it just contained so many adverts. So I disliked it for that. I didn't particularly dislike the video, I disliked the fact that it was cluttered with advertising. So that's possible now, you know, now that you're almost obliged to monetize your channel, because YouTube are going to put videos, put adverts up on your videos whether you want them to or not. Maybe someone disliked the thing because it had adverts in it. So what, you know, so what I'm trying to say is, it's impossible to tell why someone dislikes a video, and it's also impossible to tell why someone likes it. But your mind doesn't, you know, try so hard to understand why someone likes your video, but you do get a little bit paranoid about why people dislike it. But there you have a case yesterday where someone clearly disliked what I said but didn't give me a thumbs down. Mad. It's absolutely mad. But the best thing to do is just, you know, I enjoy putting up videos, so I'll just keep on doing it, and you just have to, you know, take the rough with the smooth, really, in terms of reactions. You can serve something up to someone, but you can't tell them how to consume it, so they can misunderstand what you're trying to say. You know, you just have to put the video out, and what will happen will happen. You have no control on it once you've released it. Same with likes though. You know, sometimes you'll put up a video that's an hour long and within 10 minutes 2 people have liked it, but they haven't watched it because it's, you know, their likes have gone up. And that, you know, that's almost as dangerous in terms of you know, skewing the way the algorithms present future videos to that person. But the algorithms have, you know, the algorithms are just dealing with demographics, really, your own personal age, gender, you know, and they can get a vague idea of the sort of things you like, you know, by what you watch on YouTube, and present you with more than that. But they don't judge the individual, the algorithms don't judge the individual quality of any particular video. So it might, you know, it might be really badly filmed, the focus might be terrible, something like that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to the algorithm. What matters is, you know, what you clicked on and what you're likely to click on next, so they can point advertisers in, you know, in the way of your views. So the whole thing just gets completely distorted, misunderstood, you know, or hard to understand. But anyway, as I say, I had to do this Paintalong follow up, just simply because later in the day I will be putting up a video that hopefully more of you will see. And it's the other thing as well, you know, back to that same issue about the way YouTube prioritises recommendations and so on. Because I'm doing this now, there's probably a good 20 people who won't see the video that I put up yesterday. So they'll watch this one because the algorithms recommended it to them, but they won't have had time to have watched the one that I put up yesterday, and won't you know, go back and watch it because they're just watching, you know, the immediate recommendation from YouTube. So they'll watch this, and it's meant to be a follow-up. It's the same with when I used to try and break my bat reps up. You know, so if I did a bat rep and it's about 3 hours long, I mean, no one watches YouTube that, you know, for that amount of time continuously. So I used to break them up, and you'd find the middle episodes would get double the views of the beginning. So people, you know, would come in halfway through the action, as it were, and they're not really watching, they're not really consuming it in the way that I wanted them to see it, in the order that I wanted them to see it. But as I say, you've got no control over the way people watch your videos on YouTube, just as I can't help how that chap interpreted what I was saying yesterday and took it as a sort of personal affront when I barely knew that the guy existed. Haven't really got a great deal else. I haven't got much painting done in this amount of time, but I haven't really got a great deal else to talk about. So I think I'll call it a day there, and you know, probably a lot of you will never get to see this video or listen to it, because, as I say, later on today, hopefully I'm going to put something up that will be a bit more appealing to the passerby, and I'll get a lot more views on that. So till then, see you later.